Come and get started on a new mission, a new direction, a new intention. Welcome to 5.8G Alive at Connections 50 Plus. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, catering to all your prospects in the third act of life.
Economic well-being, social gratification, personal fulfillment.
Join us on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Connections 50 Plus Facebook page, YouTube channel,
and on Gael the Caribbean.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive. I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, one of the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus, and as usual with me this evening is my colleague.
Hello everyone. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite. Welcome, so nice to be here with you all. Culminating Jennifer happiness.
Yes. And Terri-Ann, these days have been rainy. We are in the rainy season. But guess what? We're not letting the rain keep us back. That's normal for us. You know, we expect rainy season, put things in place. Dry season, put things in place.
Actually, Jennifer, yesterday and probably today, the Caribbean, Southern Caribbean, including Trinidad, would have had the effects of that early tropical cyclone, and not calling it tropical storm and not calling it hurricane. When it passes, it will be a hurricane Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we just hope that, notwithstanding it is severe weather, we're hoping that all of you are safe and that you have managed to survive this first tropical activity of our hurricane season.
Terri-Ann, actually, I took out my lanterns. I have a big one. I have to check it. And and put it aside and just checking to see in the emergency what, reading up and doing like a refresher's course and what they advise to do and to put things together. It's just put your mind at ease, that you have things in place. And I have to go, my house insurance is due and I'm going and pay it because I don't want, sometimes when you don't do these things and something happens.
Yes.
So just to check to see if your house insurance paid or if you have it insured.
Yes, you have to make sure you have little tinned goods, things you can eat straight from the tin. Don't be afraid to open the tin of sardine and eat the sardine just so.
Yes.
It's okay.
And have water in reserve, these things. Yeah.
Yes. But all is well, and hopefully we are prepped and ready to go for our journey to Happy Land.
Yes.
But Jennifer, before we do that, we have to talk about last Thursday.
Yes, our sunset cruise. Yes. And the Carney Bird Sanctuary. Oh, wow. Terri-Ann, and guess what? It was a beautiful evening. We had a sunny day. Can you imagine?
Jennifer, let's share this little sneak peek so people will just get a sense of what was going on.
Yes.
Jennifer. Nice small group.
It was different. I mean, I just love relaxing. But this the difference here is that having dinner on the boat cruise. It reminds you, when you go to many of these countries that have the river and they have these special tours on the river that as a tourist you enjoy. And we have the same thing here in Trinidad. And someone even remarked, and we all having dinner on the river. I mean, that not on the Caroni swamp, nope, the Caroni Bird Sanctuary.
Exactly. We were in the swamp.
Yes.
We were in the bird sanctuary, a
top class restaurant. Yeah,
Yeah,
top class restaurant that catered. And when we told you last week, we had a choice. I mean, we chose what we want for dinner. And what was that? The service, everything was just fantastic.
Jennifer, perhaps we can have people hear a little bit of what some of the participants had to say.
Yeah.
A very pleasant Saturday morning to Jennifer, Terri-Ann, and the group. I wish to thank you all for a beautiful, beautiful day on Thursday. It was a very awesome experience for me to see the nature and the beauty of our country, Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you again, Jennifer and Terri-Ann, for that awesome experience. From Wendy and Tasha, thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, Terri-Ann. I thank you so much for the invitation to go on the Caroni Bird Sanctuary dinner tour. I really enjoyed my evening. First time having it, and it was really good. Most of all, it was great company. Thank you so much. I would really like to be a part of another tour. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed my evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer and others, for the wonderful evening I had at the Caroni Swamp event. The evening was enjoyable and the food and service was excellent. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Hi folks, the visit to the Caroni Swamp on Thursday was just amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed the experience. It was truly awesome. I experienced a sense of inner joy and serenity, and I was grateful that I made that decision to attend. Thank you to Jennifer and Terri-Ann. Now I can say I came, I saw, and I conquered. Thanks again.
Congratulations to Connections 50 Plus ladies for that wonderful trip to the bird sanctuary the other day. It was fun and we all enjoyed it. The food, the camaraderie, the group, everybody was just nice and we appreciate it very much. Hope we can do this again very soon. Thank you, ladies.
Yes, Jennifer. That's a Connections event.
Yeah, and that is what we do in terms of getting the tribe together. Not all the time you will have the same people coming on, but what is great that when you have a big group, when you have, followers and they say, well, okay, this is for me. I love this idea of going on a tour, or I prefer to go on the trip like Paramin, and then some coming all. It is beautiful to Terri-Ann for us to be able to build that community spirit. And from what you heard, guess what they said, it is really about meeting new people and building that community spirit. Yeah.
Absolutely. So Jen, now that we've had all of that, this is the last Wednesday in June for those of you who are on Facebook and YouTube. And Gael people, Monday, you would have just started July, so we are fine. So we are rounding off the cost of happiness. And I hope by now most people realize that the cost is real low.
And you know, we had the different segments. For those who missed, you should review because we had some wonderful guests, knowledgeable guests, you know, sharing with us on the topic areas.
Yeah.
And we covered all the areas that normally connections would be addressing.
Yeah, we
You know?
started off with mental and physical well-being.
Mhm.
Then we went into finances. We did spirituality. And last week, Jennifer,
It's all about health and wellness and movement at 50 plus.
yes.
Yeah.
So now we're doing our last two. I think that's the last two.
Yeah. Cost of happiness. So we are dealing with the community, we are dealing with building a tribe and really, you know, get you very active. Socialization, to be social, and you know, we have been having a lot of events since after the pandemic. That was our fourth, the Carnegie Dinner Tour was our fourth event, you know, all successful. Thank you for your support.
Exactly. So let's go now. Let's get our tribe together and let's really look at the cost of happiness and how your community and your social interaction contributes. Jennifer, we are dealing with the cost of happiness.
Mhm.
And everybody, you're looking for the guests. Guess who the guests are? The guests are the founders of Connections 50 Plus. Let's introduce them to you. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brown.
I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, and we believe that with our experience since we started Connections 50 Plus, our focus has been on building community. And we looked at the different areas that we thought that would make you not just being active, but being happy, because our focus is on the happiness. So when we talk about the cost of happiness, and by now, you know, there was no cost, this was free. You know, so we just want to share with you, you know, how we did it, what we observed, and the feedback that we got from clients and followers throughout as we started. And I mean, this year, Terri-Ann, we have the 6 months.
Yes.
And whether it was during the pandemic or not, we were able to build our tribe. You know, I found it was really interesting that we were able to do, you know, when we had our programs online, and once a month, we would throw out a topic and say, okay, this is the topic that we're going to be doing. And we had persons come together and share. And again, the feedback there, it was different. Initially, you would get some, you know, persons calling to say, well, they're not sure if they want to talk open and to let people know their business, etc.
And that will be on Friday forum, yeah?
Yeah, that was the Friday forums. But when we came together, and at the Friday forums, we had guests also coming on board, sharing, you know, on a particular topic area. And it was just fantastic. We had many persons made friends. They were able to share in terms of their opinion on things and learn from others. So for me, Terri-Ann, that would have been like the highlight of the pandemic for us in terms of being able to bring the tribe together in that type of, during that tense period. You know, it was very scary, especially for our age group, that you felt when you heard the statistics is always with the 50 and over. You have to be careful, etc., etc. So yeah.
Yeah. No, and the thing about it is, as we speak about the cost of happiness and we go back to that first, I mean, at the end of the day, you could take care of yourself, you could have a ton of money, you could be active and so on. But as we said earlier, we do not live alone. Everybody is interdependent. And one of the things that we have found that is a truth for our cohort is that many of us really have not adjusted well to this post-work life, especially when you pass the 5 years, when you finish the first 5 years when the lump sum plenty and you're still in touch with the old friends and so on. But as you come into fullness of what we'll call retirement or this third act stage, a lot of people really want to reach out to be able to meet with like-minded people. And what we've been finding is all of that forum, those Friday evening forums, touching topics that they first of all, they love meeting their new friends. And then the topics, how you deal with sexuality, how you deal with the legal issues of wills and stuff like that, how you deal with health, how you deal with your geriatric care versus
how you deal with the loneliness.
Yes.
You know,
the
how you handle, looking at different hobbies.
Yeah.
You
the
know,
questions that you have
talent,
now,
bringing that out. Yeah.
The questions you have now are not questions that you can ask of a 50-year-old or 40-year-old cohort, and you don't want to. So we have found it is so important to have a space. And Jennifer, I am realizing that even though we started Connections 50 Plus with that, one of the bases of it was the tribe. I am sometimes surprised myself at how important providing a space where our people can comfortably come together and meet each other on their terms. So whether it was a digital meeting in the Friday forum, or boy, oh boy, when pandemic lift and we could have gotten together, Jennifer, our anniversary showed it. That 3-event extravaganza.
You know, I thought we were pushing it a bit with the 3 events. And I, say, I wonder if they would really give support. Wow. That was happiness.
Yes.
Each event, it was just sold out and everyone was so happy about it, So it shows when you understand your tribe, what your tribe wants, and I think I can say that we really do understand our tribe. We ask for feedback, we get the feedback. We did, we send it through the forms and they send back and say, this is what, we want. And we did it and continue to do it, So and this is how you could continue building a happy tribe.
Absolutely.
Because you're giving people what they want. And at our age, at the 50 plus age, we just want to live a happy life, stress-free. If we could be stress-free, that would be great.
You want to be able to go somewhere. It is so very important. And that is what we provide. So apart from the events that we, and again, for those of you who want to have a sense of what are we talking about, please go to our Facebook page, because now our social media technical editor has uploaded everything onto our Facebook page, and you really get a sense of the joy that the community is able to share and to bring. And there's really nothing stopping you from participating, because now you don't have to go and look for it. We are here. Yes. You just jump in. And Jennifer, I think people are beginning to understand we're not a club, so you don't have to be vetted for membership.
Yes.
Do I qualify for membership? Once you're over 50, you qualify for membership.
Yeah. I mean, many people ask that and they say, how do you join and what you have to do? And they're surprised, Terri-Ann, when I say you don't have to do anything.
You just have to follow us.
Just follow
Facebook,
us, you know.
YouTube,
Yes.
Instagram,
And we have the
Twitter.
event and you just sign up. So you're not under any pressure. You don't have to come to any meeting. We're not meeting. But only time we meeting is if we have a social event.
Yes.
Or like now when we are on
It's a
our
forum.
show. Yes, the forum, you know, show, we chatting with you. Of course, you know, when we have our programs that you join. So we meet one-on-one there.
Mhm.
But other than that, it is not a club.
It
where
is
you
a
become a membership.
community, and that's the
Yeah.
difference. A club will have a qualification to have you join, your name registered somewhere, your information there, and you have a commitment to do X or Y.
Yes.
No, this is a community where you're free to come in on Facebook or YouTube as you listen, participate, put
Yeah.
your views down. Jennifer is there with you on YouTube. I'm there with you on Facebook, and you join the conversation. And then
And let me say this. This may be sounding like how could she say this? But let me say the YouTube followers. When you're on YouTube, when we say subscribe, you don't have to pay any money or anything, you know. It sounds, but I have been asked that, and they say, you know why? I don't want to subscribe. They ask me for this. I don't have no money, and it's not about that. When we say subscribe, it just means when you click that subscribe button, that you become part of the tribe. So
And you
you
get
will get a little notification
Yeah.
when you know we have a program on, or if you're doing any special, you get a notification and you could send it to your friends, you can circulate. That's all subscribe means.
Mhm.
You know, and those who are not familiar with social media, I can understand, because in the early Terri-Ann, when you have thing and they say subscribe, normally
You
a
have to
form
pay.
pops
You
up.
have to pay.
Yeah, a form pops up and you have to pay. And that's what we know. But no, this is different. This is completely different. So
Yeah.
feel free to subscribe so we could build our YouTube channel and continue having our followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our community, apart from being one that we have private forums where we have specific topics and we chat, we have social media open forums, which is essentially this program that is broadcast on Facebook, on YouTube, and then we have television where we have an audience, and then we said we have our events where we bring people together to just get to know each other. And you know, earlier you would have heard the feedback from people who were on the river trip. And when you go onto Facebook, you will see the excitement and the activity of the fun day of Paramin, of our dinner for our anniversary. And you would see some old pictures of emancipation events from last year and different things that we have. And one thing you will realize, and again, we come back to what is a community. We are not little robots. We are different things at different times. We are all very different and complex. One day we like it hyper, next day we like it quiet. And as you go through those events, you would realize that, hey, connections kind of like, it's for everybody, for everything. You would find something for everybody. We truly are a community of people with shared interest in having a beautiful life on this the third act stage. Isn't that good, then?
Let me share this to Terri-Ann. One of the comments or questions that I got from someone who wanted to, join and asked whether it is a club, and say, I don't want to be involved with anything like too big. So let me say it too, it's not big, as you'll see from the photos and things. So it's not 100 people on a boat. It's not like that. So it's not crowded. You have your own space. And we, at least Terri-Ann, we had decided that no group going beyond 30. We are not.
No, that's the socially manageable size.
Yeah.
Because we want everybody to have an opportunity to talk to everybody.
So even if an event is oversubscribed, we will do it twice, like what we did with Paramin.
Exactly.
You know, at this parliament we did about 3 times, twice, 2 sets. But we would do that. We would divide it. We would repeat that activity to ensure that the numbers are kept within, manageable, as Terri-Ann said, and everybody can have fun.
Yeah. And Jennifer, there's another area where we have community, which is still quiet. There is our WhatsApp group, which anyone can join because you have your link and you'll get onto the group. And that's where you determine what you want to talk about. You determine with other members who are there. Yes, we have guidelines. We don't endorse or support religious, political, any kind of bigoted discussion. But anything you want to share, talk about that is pertinent to our age,
valuable to our cohort. Yes. Yeah, we appreciate that.
You go there. So Connections 50 plus really, and Jennifer, I am really proud that we have come to this point, originally thinking we had our 3 platforms, the take care of yourself, take care of your money, and then form a tribe. And it is really in that tribe where we meet people. And I am so excited when we have those followers who have not had an opportunity to come out and join and meet new friends. And I'm so excited and relieved. They're jumping over all kinds of obstacles to make sure that they are present.
Terri-Ann, again, during your workplace, you will build your work friends and things. But when you leave that workplace, sometimes many of your friends may not have been within your age group too. So you would have left them behind still working. So you'd have those who still working, because when we do retirement programs, we do retirement and transition corporate programs. There is only about 6 people retiring for that year.
Yeah.
So just think about it.
Yeah.
So those 6 people leaving that company, they are leaving all their friends behind, their work friends who's still there in the workplace. So to socialize now after is a different, it's 2 different. While you are free to do much more and socialize more, your friend in the workplace, they have to think about going back to work. They have all the commitments, etc. So this is the time too that you meet a tribe who have time also. Because again, if you notice our programs or our activities, we don't put it on a weekend.
No.
Because we find a weekend is a weekend when people are busy.
Yeah,
so we tend to
tend
to do it during the week when we have that freedom to do things.
Yes.
So that is another point that we should put forward for you to know, hey, you come out, be comfortable, meet new people, because you have left a lot of your friends in your workplace.
And Jennifer, when we think about it, and it affects so much of us, which when we say it really makes that barrier going down when you have your last day traumatic. Most people with their commute, they would leave their homes 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And they're not getting back to those homes 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the evening. They're in bed by 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a few hours to prepare for the next day, prepare meals, check with the children.
So by the weekend, you're doing catch up. Huh?
The only time you really have to socialize and relax is in work.
Yep.
And I'm talking about the importance of most of your networks, most of your community would be at work, work related, and most of your socialization that may be on the weekend, it starts with the work group. Is the work group going to do this on the weekend? They're going to the beach, they're going on a hike, they're going to some show. So when you leave that place, or if you are a homemaker and you're empty nester, your work life is now gone. So it is so that need for community, that need to connect with people on a one-to-one and personal basis where you can just share time. That's what we call community. That's what we call community. And it is so important. And we're really excited that we can say at Connections 50 Plus, you have a place, whether it is virtually, whether it is on your phone, WhatsApp, you have a community.
And for those who may be working on their own, have their own business, the entrepreneurs who may say, I have no time. Listen, many, and I could tell you about a hairdresser that take a day during the week. They get a day off. You know, it's always good to take a day off, take some time off. So if 50 plus, you're still working, you're an entrepreneur, working for yourself, you can take that time out to enjoy yourself and build community. Because at some stage, you're moving on.
Yeah.
And you will need a tribe.
You know, our entrepreneurs those who start businesses after the work life, they're really a special group, because not only are they adjusting to not a salary, but having to literally run and find every single dollar. But the entrepreneurial life is an extremely solitary one. It's stressful, but it's solitary, because as an entrepreneur, most likely is working by themselves.
Yeah.
So you're still in the workplace, but you don't have that community around you. When is lunch? You have no lunch break.
You have no break.
In the lunchroom.
You have no break. You're going all the time.
You have no, you reach 8 o'clock and you go have coffee, and 10 o'clock. There's none of that. And you're there by yourself. So for our entrepreneurial people on this platform, the community that we have created also caters to you and gives you a chance to breathe. And really,
well, you need that. You need that. Yeah. Take that time out.
So
meet new people, laugh, have fun, be happy.
Exactly.
Release some of that stress so you can go back the next day and feel good about, resuming. Yeah.
And being very happy. So Jennifer, I really, really do believe that as we look at the cost of happiness, as we looked at all the different elements, the mind is the thing that really holds us back. And I think this topic, this area, that area of community, the area of social interaction, for most of the others, we can, as we say, we like our word fronting, because we could present ourselves as healthy when we could dress up nice and look real rich for the day. Save up all the money and buy a ticket to go to something we can't generally go to. We could do that. We could play around with our health and so on. But if we don't have community, that leads, and Jennifer, you would notice in your coaching, when you are living in an isolated state without someone to talk to connect with, to laugh with, to have, to just have fun, society, to socialize with, you can be very, very close to depression. You can become a recluse. All kinds of things can happen to you, Jennifer. Isn't that?
I recalled Nigel, one of our guests that was chatting on the financial aspect, and he was saying during the pandemic, he lost, I think, 7 or so.
11. He said
it was 11. He said,
yes.
Friends, and when he said that, I wondered. I said, wow, because it can happen to any one of us. At this stage, I counted. When he said that, I started to count how many friends I've lost. So, and if we were limited, and if we had 5 close friends and we lost 3, wow, that could be very devastating. So having a tribe, having a community around you would help. You know, definitely would
Absolutely.
make a difference.
Absolutely. It is. And in so all of the elements of the cost of happiness as we are measuring it are important.
Yeah.
And all of them that we've discussed so far are the standalone elements. You know, you deal with your money is private. You're really not sharing that very widely.
Yeah.
You deal with your own wellness and well-being. All right, you might go and exercise with a friend, but still, it's very private. Your mental and emotional state, as Rin was saying, many people fight through that. They put most of the energy into presenting a front that really masks what is going on in the end. And Suzanne gave us that spirituality where we really got into how many of us really make different, not probably the optimal decisions because we are not connecting with that spirit. But I really do believe that when we can get together, but think in school, recess and children in the yard running and playing and they just free. When we can really connect with another person. And the pandemic has been so cripplingly isolating. Some have died, yes, but a lot of us have just been cut off. And for some people, trying to come back into the trying to make a decision, yes, I will attend this event. Yes, I will go to that thing. It's traumatic.
It's
Some
traumatic.
people have difficulty reintegrating in society.
You need some friend to pull you along, to say, let's go. Because when you do go, you have a good time, eh? But you see, leaving that house or making that decision, yep.
CONEC-TIONS is that friend. CONEC-TIONS 50+ is that friend. So
we will bring you along. We will champion you along. Yeah.
Making sure you stay sane, you stay connected, and there is someone that you could reach out to say, hey, I want to come along to this. I want to go and do that. And we really make sure that our cost of happiness gets as close to zero as we could, because we have done the work to make the mental adjustments to say, I am in charge of my happiness. And at this stage of life, Jennifer, what is holding you back from acting on your happiness?
And I keep saying, when we talk, it's two women speaking here. Men, please, you are welcome. We love to have you with us.
There. We talked about you. We know what's going on.
I always want to mention, I don't forget. I always remind you, listen, you are welcome.
Yes. So I think we have well covered what is the cost of happiness. And Jennifer and I, both of us, I'm saying but we really, really, really hope that you all have been able to look at the last 4 shows, reflect. The feedback tells us that you've certainly enjoyed and engaged with us, and that you now realize that you are truly happy people, and it didn't cost a lot. Jennifer has spoken about that so much. It is all up to you. So we have some interesting things to talk about on the other side of this. So, Jennifer, let's hope that everyone is happy.
Yes.
Great.
Now we are moving in. We are going into July. And we want you to get ready for life in the 70s. So, I just turned 70. And Terri-Ann, there is a difference to me. Let me see. there is a difference when you're moving from the 60s stage to the 70s stage. And that difference from me is the choices you have to make and realities that you have to face. You know, you look at your mortality and you think, what am I really? You know, I'm 70. You're looking at it, say, lifespan. I came from the insurance industry. And when we speak with clients and planning for the later stage, we look at mortality.
Mm-hmm.
And normally we would say, okay, woman, go up to 85, 90, men 80, 85, you know, so we use, I would say, more 85 when we talk in mortality. Now we are aware there's a big difference now in terms of health care and all the different things scientists have shown that you can live a healthy life up to age 100. But sometimes I ask myself, how many people do? All right. And so you wonder too that, okay, you're 70. Let's say you use mortality 85. Yes, you want to go, maybe some people say 90 to 100, but let's, for this discussion, say 85.
It's still 15 years.
Because that is the age I'm saying, okay, 85. That's 15 years, Terri-Ann. And so your next question would be, okay, 15 years. Can I live the next 15 years the same way I lived the last 15 years? Okay? And you look at the different aspects of your life. Now remember, your family members, those of us, I'm fortunate, I tell people to have my mom who's 100, and since she celebrated, let me tell you, I have been reading because the ministry has been highlighting persons who reach 100. And every week I'm saying, where all these people come from?
We're living longer.
So it is that we are living longer. So while I'm saying 15 years, it could be 25 years again, you know? So you definitely, Terri-Ann, I see how critical it is for us to look at beyond the 60, right?
And
Beyond the 60.
Jennifer, I think I'm so fortunate to have us working together, because I'm seeing you at 70 preparing in your decades. Yeah. So you're prepared for your 70th decade. But you know, we in our 60s, a lot of us arrived here. And by the time we 61, 62, 63, we realized we didn't prepare at all. We weren't properly prepared. We didn't check the pension right. We didn't make the adjustments. And the 60s are spent, I think half of the 60s are spent sort of like looking back to the 50s and denying you in your 60s. And then when you finally settle down, probably around 64, 65, you're trying to make the best of it. And 70 creeps up on you very, very suddenly.
Yes.
And the 70s are when you could really relax, because you had a whole decade to enjoy yourself in your good health and so on. But one thing about being in the 60s and this issue that we want to focus on, getting ready for life in your 70s, we have time to prepare. We have time to rationally sit down and say, okay, I didn't prepare properly in the 40s and 50s. These are the kinds of issues that I faced when I started to get into my 60s. You're going to 85. So now you have 25 years. You take time to prepare. So I think for us in our 60s, this is where we could very soberly sit down and say, all right, what kind of life do I want to have in my 70s? Yep. And really prepare for it, so that we continue being happy and we continue having a great life.
And Terri-Ann, I want to
I
say
really
this
strongly
too.
believe this.
It is not, you can have in your 60s that sense of comfort thinking that, okay, I have money put aside to take care, because you did plan and you look at your lump sum and you say, okay, good, this money can last me out if I even reach 100. And you're not looking at, let me tell you, there are different aspects. Yes, money is critical, and I congratulate all those who are able to have their funding and still have their fund in place. But Terri-Ann, there's another aspect that they have to look at that can eat away that fund. Nigel mentioned it. It's not just illness. No. You have to look at who you're still mining and who you will be still mining throughout life. I have to say throughout life.
What bad minding habit you're dragging with you through?
I remember my very, very good friend during her last days. We were chatting openly. And, she really was beautiful home and everything. God bless her soul, really beautiful. And then she said to me, but Jennifer, I wonder if it was worth it to spend that money and things. And I'm saying, yes, it was worth it because it made her happy. She worked hard and she spent her money making herself comfortable. And I was telling her, I said, look at you at this stage. You're in a beautiful home and you look around your surroundings, all that making you happy. And I said, you know what? If it wasn't like this, you would have regretted and said, you have that money saved up in the bank, leaving it, and nothing wrong with that, you leave it for family, but you did not make yourself happy. And I'm saying with her, unfortunately, with the type of illness she had, she just couldn't make it. But if you have to look at her life prior, she enjoyed her life. She spent her money on things she enjoyed and still prepared for emergencies. So I just want to make it clear, because some of us in our 60s hold on to and feel comfortable that we have this lump sum put aside, but not looking to see the things we can do to make ourselves comfortable. And I'm not here talking about just traveling the world and things. I'm talking about your housing situation, your living conditions. Have you put things in place within your household? Because we are getting older, I was saying today, let me stop here and say this. I remember, younger, my father drove until he was whatever age, and both hands on the steering wheel, and he going so, and we think he will never reach. I find myself, Terri-Ann, with both hands on the steering wheel. And I start to panic. I go in so and I say, no, what is this nonsense? But reality, we have to look at things that we could put in place. So living conditions, your home, the decisions you have to make, whether you're maintaining that home, whether you're switching, whether you're, putting the necessities in it that will help you to be more comfortable later on. So we have some critical things. Unless you reach that stage or you have family members within that stage, you may not be aware how important it is to prepare for the 70s. And don't feel bad like me if you have to put both hands on the steering wheel, because you're not as quick to react to this one hand, it just don't.
No, Jennifer, those two areas you talked about, who you're minding, and you talked about a friend who made herself very happy before her passing. But one of the things we're finding is that many of us in our 60s are using our resources, are consuming our resources, and I have to use this word, propping up people who are on their second act and trying to protect them or prevent them from learning some of the lessons that will have them be more conservative. And I don't think that we are realizing how much of our reserves we are giving away, and we will come upon 70 and discover a whole different reality with no reserves. So those who are able to create a beautiful life for themselves and so on are very, very fortunate. But a lot of us are responsible for, we're still responsible for others, and we carrying that responsibility as though we are responsible for minors, as though responsible for babies and school-age children. And unfortunately, that's probably what the only way of caring that we've learned. And we don't know how to, when you have an adult that has capacity and has become very, you have a great interdependence, and you depending on the person and the person depending on you, you could not look beyond, you could think you'll be in your 60s forever. And when you get to the 70s and you really need to have your life settled, you talked about housing and stuff, and you come upon your 70s and that person or persons that you have carried is as dependent on you as ever, that could set yourself up for some real stress in your 70s.
Yeah, because it have those, there's an ad that it's funny, but and it's real. One of those ads where you hear the guy needed money for some part.
The battery.
And then
calling the
granny. That is,
you
let me tell you.
$178. I won't call the company name.
It's funny, but it's typical. And you know, when the fact that they brought that in, it shows that when all fails and you can't get money from anybody else, your granny have that money put away somewhere.
The pension money.
And will give it to you because she wants to help you. You want to help your grandchildren. You want to help your children. And when every time I hear that ad, it brings me back to typical, the grannies. So even if you're not grannies, 70s.
The mummies.
70s, where they feel you have nothing to do with your money and you have money stuck away. And this pension, so you're using up your pension, you're giving them. And you hear stories, a lot of stories. And this is not at any level, it's at any level. Because some may use it to buy the ticket, they want to go away. And they want sponsor for the ticket or the trip, or the grands need to go Disney World or something. And guess what? Is granny giving the money because granny have the money. So we're not saying you don't do it, but you have to watch it, and you have to be very conscious, because you have those, unfortunately, would depend on you right through and still hoping when you're dead, you leave money for them to take them to. It's a fact. If
we don't help those dependents in our 60s to stand on their 2 feet, when we eventually pass from this world and they have the keys or the bank card to the account that you took 40 years to accumulate, they will deplete in 2.
And because they didn't work hard for it.
And we didn't teach them.
That's true.
Take responsibility. So, we didn't teach them. So this whole idea we have of getting ready for life in your 70s, we are saying it is one of the things we find is really, really important. And there are other dimensions that we're going to get into, but we thought we would introduce it as a new pivot, that there's going to be a one-on-one program that allows you to get into detail with us to really plan out the life in the 70s. And we're going to be talking about what is it that we have to prepare for. Those in the 50s, again, we know that 50 to 60 years, you're still out there, you're still on the grind, and you still have that excitement, and you're still looking at retirement as something remote. That reluctance to grab a hold of reality and start making adjustments is what causes the kind of shell shock in the 60s that causes you to not make adjustments until 3-4 years into the decade. And what we are saying is that if you didn't learn from that, and in your 60s and in your 70s, begin to take stock of what really are the issues facing you in the 70s that you can prepare for. We are going to compromise happiness not only on the first, but the second and the third act of this gorgeous period in life. So we are going to, you have that to look forward to, Jennifer. And
that's in July, and from the start of July, we're going to give you more details, but basically it is getting ready for life in the 70s. We're looking at persons 60s to 70s, individual, because each person has a different scenario, and we know that, let me tell you, that is an area, it's a critical area for discussion, and we felt we don't want it as an open forum, but as a one-on-one, because we see there's a lot of information that you want to share with us that you prefer it to be done in a private setting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're going to be covering some key areas, as we mentioned. We will be looking at the whys. Who are you minding right now, and why? Yeah. Where are you living? Why are you still there? You know, we're looking at
how you're going.
How are you
going?
How are you doing? Because listen, many of us have the complaints, and we say when you ask you how you doing, and you say, oh gosh, girl, right now, I'm telling Terri-Ann this morning, I find my feet swelling. I have to go and check it out. But you know, you need to know what you're doing and to take action, and not just sit back and leave it like that, you know. And what you're doing, what you're really doing, if you're not doing anything at all.
What you're doing, what you're doing. After you've settled in the 60s and you realize, all right, I'm retired. What you doing with your time?
So this is something, and after this pandemic, we keep saying people facing a different reality. Many of us at this stage, some of the entrepreneurs, actually, today I went to one of the smaller malls there, and I went looking for a particular item. And I was surprised that most of the mall there, only businesses, not retail. The big businesses, like they open, of course, they downsize, so they open offices. So that particular mall, I think I only saw one retail store. So it shows too, as entrepreneurs, many persons couldn't survive through the pandemic and had to close, you know. So you ask
operate
yourself,
from home.
If at this stage you say, well, okay, I am operating this business to keep me going, and you have to close, then you look at what are you doing now? Are you just shutting down and say business is not for me again? Or I have get depressed because you have lost so much money in the business? Or in many cases too, helping your sons, your daughters, and siblings there who unfortunately, you know, may not be working, or may not be getting the kind of income they were getting before, and you stepping in.
So
these are realities we have to face, but you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to shut down. You don't have to give up.
Yeah.
This program that we are telling you about with Terri-Ann and I, one-on-one, would address all these issues that you're going to be having in the 70s. We're looking at next 15, 20, 25 years ahead of. Yep.
Okay. So it's that time. We come into, listen, half the year finish, you know. This is the end of June.
And that's why we have to look at it. It's
Going
not
into the
simple.
second half of the year. So listen, we out of the pandemic, we're changing gears, and we are getting ready to have a great time on this third act stage. So we will see you all next week.
Yes.
And remember, the cost of happiness is all within your mind. There isn't a dollar figure in front of it. It's a mindset. So decide to be happy. Okay, Jennifer.
Yes. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
50 Plus Tribe and followers from Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback. Bye for now.